So good morning to all. So are you getting my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good morning to all. So in the previous lecture, we have discussed about the distortion analysis, harmonic distortion analysis. So in that we have some fundamental concepts we have learned. We have learned about how we can measure the harmonic distortion, overall total harmonic distortion of the waveform. So by using suppressing of the fundamental frequency, suppression of fundamental frequency, and allowing all other harmonics to reach the meter. So in this process, we are using 4 different methods for measurement of harmonic uh, total harmonic distortion. So first one we are discussed, first and second we are discussed. So using the high pass filters, resonance bridge network. So using the high pass filters, this is one method, and resonance bridge network. So this is also discussed. So in this resonance bridge network, so we have to tune the L and C values for a fixed fundamental frequency suppression. Fundamental frequency suppression. So whereas the fundamental frequency is changing, so in such situation, this resonance bridge network is not suitable. So then we can go for Wien's bridge type, Wien's bridge method. So in this, the amplifier section and the series and parallel combination of RC will form as the Wien's bridge. Here RC series combination of RC and parallel combination of RC. So this will be formed as a Wien's bridge network. Okay. So here we will consider the R1 and C1, R1 and R2 are the same resistance values, and C1 and C2 will consider the same capacitance values. So and R3 is taken as to R4. So by that the fundamental frequency component will be suppressed here. So these with this bridge, the fundamental component will be dissipated in these values. So and remaining harmonic components, harmonic components are sent to the meter. So where that meters will give the RMS value of total harmonic distortion components. And coming to the next method, so we are continuing the harmonic distortion analysis concepts. So this slide will show the here this is the fundamental first primary frequency component. Okay, so this is also when we apply the input to a particular device, so it should show the same replica of the input, same shape, same waveform shape should be same when the input and output. So whenever this fundamental frequency signal is mixed with the second harmonic signal, this is the second harmonic component, and it will be mixed, so we will get this waveform. So when the fundamental frequency signal is mixed with the second harmonic signal, so we will get this type of the waveform. So here the waveform is distorted here. So similarly, the fundamental frequency signal is mixed with the third harmonic signal, we will get this type of the output waveform. So this is the also a distorted waveform. So like this, by combining the fundamental frequency signal with the fourth harmonic components, we will get the variations of the output waveform. So, this output waveform will represents the fundamental component, fundamental frequency component, and the fourth harmonic component. So this particular waveform will represents both the fundamental frequency component as well as the fourth harmonic component. So in this waveform we have both the fundamental frequency component and fourth harmonic components. So when this particular wave signal is applied to a harmonic distortion analyzer, it should be separate. It should be separate or suppress the fundamental frequency, and remaining frequency component will send to the meter. So that is the basic component and the basic concept or principle in the distortion analyzers, harmonic distortion analyzers. Okay. So coming to the next method of harmonic distortion analyzers. So the next one is bridged T-network method. So bridged T-network method. So in this method, so bridged T-network method. So we will apply a fundamental and harmonic signal combination of the waveform. So the waveform is having both fundamental and harmonic components, and that is the test wave signal. So that is applied to bridged T-network method. So here the L and C, here L and C values are tuned to the fundamental frequency. So the resonance of the fundamental frequency. So we have to make the tuning of the L and C by this L and C values. These values will be tuned to the fundamental frequency, and that fundamental frequency is bypassed by the through the R. So through the R we can adjust in such a way that the fundamental frequency is bypassed through R resistor. So and remaining components and remaining frequency components will reach the output stage. So we are making adjustment of the L and C values in such a way that the fundamental frequency is matched with this L and C values, resonance frequency. So that resonance frequency is bypassing through the resistance R. So the remaining frequency components will passes through the output terminals. Here the output terminals will, this is the only the harmonic components. The fundamental frequency components are bypassed through the resistance R. So by adjusting this R value, we can bypass the fundamental frequency energy. Okay. So the all other harmonic components will reach the output terminals, and the output is the measured in the meter. So that meter will indicates the RMS value of the total harmonic distortion. So it gives the RMS value of the total harmonic distortion. So this waveform, this distortion analyzers will produce the total harmonic distortion value, not individual distortion of the components. It provides the total harmonic distortion value of all the distorted components which are present in a given waveform or applied input waveform. It provides the total harmonic distortion value. Okay, not individual distortion values. It does not show the individual distortion values. Okay. Coming to this is the bridge T network method. Okay, and so the another method of using the bridge T network. So this is the another method. So we can also use this bridge T network in the following way. So in this case we have. So in this case we have the harmonic distortion laser. We have uh, we have bridge network and adjustable attenuator. Okay, so in the first case, so here we have two types of cases. In the first case, the switch S is connected to point A. So here we will apply the fundamental and harmonic signals. That is the test wave input. The input is the test wave signal is applied to amplifier. Okay, and from the amplified output will be moves through this point A. So from the switch A, the switch is connected to point A. Okay, so the signal is connected to the bridge network, and the adjustable attenuator is here. In this case, it is bypassed. In this case, the attenuator is excluded. Okay, here the excluded. The signal is moves through this. It is like a short circuit. So that's why the signal is moves in this way. So so the signal always choose the low resistance path. Okay, when we connect the signal to the point A, so this is the low resistance path. So the signal will move in this way and reaches the bridge T network. Okay, so here the bridge T network will be adjusted to suppress the fundamental frequency. Okay, so here we can adjust the bridge T network. The components present in the bridge T network capacitor and inductor values are adjusted to suppress the fundamental frequency, for the suppression of the fundamental frequency. So with that fundamental suppression of fundamental frequency, we will get some minimum output in the meter. So with that we can get some minimum output. Okay, so that minimum output will be recorded. Okay, so first of all, we'll send the signal to the through amplifier, and it will send to bridge T network, and with that we will get some minimum output. So that minimum output corresponds to suppression of the fundamental frequency. Okay, so whenever in the next case we will connect this switch to B. This switch is connected to B. So then what happens? The test wave signal will move from amplifier. The signal will move from amplifier to the adjustable attenuator. Here it is open. So the now switch is S is connected to B. Okay, this is open, not connected. So the signal is moved through the adjustable attenuator, and it will move to the shortest path. And the signal will be moved in this case through this way point B, and the bridge T network is excluded. So in such situation, what happens? So this attenuator is adjustable. So now in this case, we will adjust the attenuator. So by this attenuation process, so we will see what is the we can adjust this attenuator in such a way that, so if the value which is previously what we are observed, so up to that particular point should be reached, we have to adjust this particular attenuator. ఇక్కడ ఈ అటెన్యూయేటర్ మనం అడ్జస్ట్ చేస్తాం. ఎలా అంటే ప్రీవియస్ BGT నెట్వర్క్ వాల్యూ ఎంతవరకు వచ్చిందో, మినిమం వాల్యూ వచ్చిందో అంతవరకు కూడా adjustable attenuator ని అడ్జస్ట్ చేస్తాం. సో అప్పుడు it indicates the variation of the value of attenuation. So how much value it is varied. So that will be indicated on the meter. Okay. So like this we can measure the. So suppose initially assume that some value is we have some input signal is applied through adjustable attenuator. The signal goes to the meter directly, and this meter will be measures the signal components. So what are the signal components which are present here? Okay, and we will get some value, some RMS values get. Okay, so previously we are also measured some minimum value of by excluding the adjustable attenuator. By using BGT network, we will get minimum value. So now we are connected adjustable attenuator to point B. So with this, what happens? The signal will be directly reads the meter through attenuator. So what are the signals which are moving through this attenuator will be measured by the meter. So we have to adjust this attenuator to read the minimum value what we observed in the previous case. We have to observe, we will adjust the attenuator until to get the minimum value. So how much variation we are varied by the attenuation, that value will give the total harmonic distortion value in terms of decibels. Okay. So this one, the adjustable attenuator will adjust to get the minimum value of the output to read the minimum value. So from the initial stage to final value, how much we are adjusted the attenuator, so that particular value will provides the total harmonic distortion of the harmonic components which are present in the test wave signal. So like this we can measure the harmonic distortion of the given test signals. So in point B, the BGT network is bypassed. Now attenuator is adjusted to read the same reading of the meter. Previously, what you read in the first case. After that, the attenuator is adjusted, and attenuator reading will indicate the total RMS distortion. Okay, so by that the total harmonic distortion analyzers are completed. Harmonic distortion analyzers are completed. And coming to next one, the spectrum analyzers. So spectrum analyzers. So in the most of the case we will observe in the oscilloscope we will observe the signals with respect to time. So in the CRO we can observe the signals amplitude with respect to time. Okay, CRO will provide the output in time domain. Okay, so time domain signals will represent with respect to time and the amplitude of the signal. So whereas in the frequency domain, so on the x-axis we will consider the frequency, on the y-axis we will consider the amplitude. amplitude. So here this slide will shows the representation of the two signals. So time domain signals and frequency domain signals. So if we consider the time domain signal, so here we have two frequency signals. So one, the dotted line signal is having a frequency of f. The dotted line signal is having a frequency of f, and the dark line will represent the frequency. It is having a frequency of 2f. Okay. So like this we can represent the number of frequency signals and their amplitudes. So on the x-axis we will have the amplitude. On the on the y-axis we will have a amplitude, and on the x-axis we will have a time. So in the time domain signals we have the amplitude and the time, and with respect to time we can find the frequency of the given signals. So 1 over the time will give the frequency. Okay, so the individual signal frequencies we can get. So to represent the different frequency signals with respect to x-axis, so and the amplitude and the frequency, so we have to go to display of the time domain signals, frequency domain signals. The frequency domain signals we have, on the x-axis we have the frequency values f, 2f, 3f, like that. Okay. On the y-axis we have amplitude values. So here f is the some frequency f, and it is having an amplitude of a1, and 2f is another signal is having a frequency of 2f. On the x-axis it is 2f, and the second signal 2f having frequency of 2f, and it is having an amplitude of a2. So in the frequency domain signals we can represent the signals with respect to we can represent the frequency on the x-axis and the amplitude in the y-axis. So this representation of the frequencies are called as spectrum. So spectrum, this is called as spectrum of frequency spectrum. So each frequency component will be represented with lines. So lines. So each line indicates on the x-axis its frequency, on y-axis its amplitude. Okay. The spectrum of the frequency components or frequency signals will be represented with respect to frequency and amplitude. Okay. So these are like a lines structure. So sequence of lines will represent the different frequency components. Okay. So like this we have the representation of the frequency domain signals and time domain signals. Okay. So the spectrum analyzer will show the spectrum of all the frequency components which are applied at its input. Suppose I was applied a number of frequency different signals which are having a different frequency, each signal having a individual frequency. So like that there are, assume that 4 signals are having a given test wave. Okay, so each signal is having individual frequency. So in the domain, in the spectrum representation, so we have to represent the frequency of individual signal, the frequency of the individual signal and its amplitude we will show in the spectrum, in the frequency spectrum. So to display those frequency components which are present in the input to waveform, so will be displayed in the spectrum analyzer. The spectrum analyzer will show the frequency and amplitude of the different frequency components which are applied to its input. To its input. So coming to so the types of spectrum analyzers. So the principles are different. There are three types of techniques that are used to shows the spectrum of the input signals, the frequency spectrum of input signal. So there are three types of spectrum analyzers out there. So the first one is parallel filter bank technique, and second one is sweep step receiver technique, step receiver design technique, step receiver. Okay, step receiver design technique. Okay, and third one is radio frequency spectrum analysis. So to analyze in the radio frequency range, this radio frequency spectrum analyzers are used in the range of 1 megahertz to 40 gigahertz. Okay, so going to first one. The first one is parallel filter bank technique. Parallel filter bank technique. So with this technique of the spectrum analyzer, so we will use the filters are connected in parallel. Here we have this filter 1, filter 2, filter 3, like that. N type of N filters we can connect it. So these N parallel filters, these are connected in parallel. The filters are connected in parallel. The filters are connected in parallel. Okay, and the input V of t is applied. So it is having a set of signals, and each signal having individual frequencies. Okay, suppose we have a four input four signals which are combined in one wave. So in such situation we have to need the four filters. Four parallel filters are connected. Okay, so we will use the number of filters which are based upon the number of frequency components which are present in the given input waveform. Okay, so this so we will use the filters in such a way that which are having some band of signals, so which is and it does not miss any frequency component, in such a way that these filters are designed. So here we will design the filters so in such a way that it will covers the entire frequency range. So each one having a small bandwidth. So here this is having this is the assume that this is the filter 2 having bandwidth, and this is the filter 1, and this is the filter 1 having a bandwidth. So each one having a smaller bandwidth, and overlapping to each other. So suppose we have a frequency of the signal is having frequency, okay, is having it is having, if it does not miss any frequency component. So in such a way that these filters are designed. And those filters bandwidth should be overlap to another. Okay. So like that, the number of parallel filters are connected, and each filter will produces so in that particular band of frequency signal. Suppose this filter is produce the signal which is fall in this filter frequency range. Suppose this filter is designed for the frequency range of 200 to 210 hertz. Suppose 200 to 210 hertz frequency range. Suppose the applied input signal is having in the 205 frequency signal. So it is having a 205 hertz of frequency signal. That frequency signal will passes through this particular filter. Similarly, if any other frequency signals which will be allows through these filters and blocks all other frequency signals. Like that, the filters will produce the individual frequency outputs. Okay, so that frequency output signals will be detected by using detectors. Those will be detected by the detectors, and it will be displayed on a CRT display, simultaneous display of the simultaneous output to CRT display. So for this we will connect a detector. Okay, for this filter output we will connect a detector. Like this, the number of detectors will be used here, and this detector, as in that, this is D1. This is D2. Like that, we have n number of detectors. So all these detector outputs will be connected to a CRT screen. There, the individual signals will be displayed in a line fashion. So series of lines will be displayed. So depending upon the frequency components which are presented in the given input. Okay. So this is the one technique we are using for the display of the frequency components in a given input signal. So coming to next method. See here. So this is the representation of the amplitude and frequency domain, time domain and frequency domain. So here is with the CRO oscilloscope, general purpose oscilloscope, we will get the frequency signals in this way. So in this waveform, we have number of frequency components are mixed in this waveform. There are individual frequency signals are mixed and showing in this type of the waveform. Okay, so this is with respect to time, and this will give the amplitude. Okay, so this waveform will represent the combination of all the frequency signals at a time with the individual with the time for the same time. So the variation of all the signals will be mixed and produces this type of waveform. So whereas in frequency domain measurements, that is done by spectrum analyzers. By using spectrum analyzers, we can represent the frequency components in the form of the spectrum. So see here, this input waveform is having 3 frequency components. Each one is with respect to frequency they are given. So at that particular frequency we have this waveform, and it is having an amplitude of A1. And similarly we have second waveform at this particular frequency. This is remember, this is the frequency F1 and this is the frequency F2. And like that we have three frequency components at different frequency levels, and each one is having their amplitude of each frequency component. So this particular spectrum representation, spectrum analyzer will represent the spectrum of the individual frequency components or frequency signals. Okay, like this we can represent the time domain and frequency domain signals. So in the spectrum analyzers, after detecting by using filters, we'll get the individual frequency component. That individual frequency component value will be represented. The RMS value of the individual signal will be represented at that particular frequency. So like this we have parallel filter bank technique. So and the second one, spectrum analyzer using stepped receiver design technique. So here it is a stepped receiver design technique. Stepped receiver design technique. Okay. So in this case, we will use a sawtooth generator. So the main or basic block in this spectrum analyzer using stepped receiver technique is sawtooth generator. So this sawtooth generator will produce the voltage. Okay, that voltage is applied to the horizontal deflection plates of the CRT. So in the CRO, so we have horizontal deflection plates and the vertical deflection plates. So in the horizontal deflection plates, we will apply the sawtooth waveform generator output. So from this sawtooth waveform generator, the output is applied to horizontal deflection plates. And similarly, the same voltage is applied to voltage controlled oscillator. Okay. So here, with this voltage controlled oscillator, the output of the voltage controlled oscillator is like uh, frequency, minimum frequency to maximum frequency will produce. So the sweep signal will be generated. With the frequency range minimum to maximum range. So it will produce the sweep output voltages, and those sweep output voltages having the frequencies with minimum to maximum. So minimum frequency to maximum frequency it produces. And from there, those generated frequency signal is applied to mixer. The generated output signal voltages with the different frequency components, that is minimum frequency to maximum frequency, changing frequency component is applied to the mixer. So here the input we will apply input signal. Here the mixer will be mixes and produces the intermittent frequency amplifiers. What are the signals are present here, and those signals will be feeds with the voltage controlled oscillator signal. Voltage controlled oscillator signal